Hi everyone, I'm Theresa V, and this is the place to be if you're a sensitive or empathic world changer who wants to increase their wellness and feel more alive in this beautiful world. And today we're talking about how to calm your nervous system in 5 breaths or less. Stay tuned. In our modern society, the first thing that we need to realize is that so many of us, in fact, most of us, have become chest breathers. These are very shallow breaths that we take. Many times it's posture specific because we sit at the computer so much and we compress our lungs that we're doing this shallow chest breathing. This kind of breathing is also connected to stress. When we get stressed out, we tend to breathe in a more shallow way. This type of breathing increases stress. The breath, the prana, doesn't nourish our body because it doesn't go deep enough for our body to draw the nourishment from the prana. When we breathe this way, we have all of this stagnant air that stays in our lungs, especially towards the bottom. And another thing is we create all of these toxins in our bodies because just simple breathing is one of the most effective ways that our body detoxes. When we're stressed, when we're overstimulated, our sympathetic nervous system is in overdrive. This is our fight, flight, or freeze response. And interestingly, our response, which one of these things we choose, has a lot to do with our doshic makeup. So if we tend to be more fiery or more of a pitta type, we'll go into fight. If we tend to be more of a vata type or more airy, we are prone to flight. And if we tend to be more kapha or more in line with the earth element, then we tend to freeze. But when our sympathetic nervous system is revved up, this heightened state increases our heart rate and disrupts so many normal body functions like digestion, hormone cycles, circulation, just to name a few. Now, stress isn't always a bad thing. Short-term stress actually has incredibly positive effects on the body, mental clarity, sharpness, and it can reset many of our functions. But we get into trouble when the stress response becomes prolonged. And part of what we notice here in this community is it makes it very hard to calm the mind so that we can have clarity of any sort. Now, the response of our sympathetic nervous system is really helpful in moments where we are in life or death situations. So let's say we're being chased by a barking, snarling dog. That sympathetic nervous system response kicks in and we are able to run faster and farther than we ever thought we could before. Its goal is to divert the energy that would be going to other regular functions of the body and bring it to the muscles, create stress response hormones so that we can have these superhuman moments of strength to get ourselves out of these life or death jams. Our body loves us so much that it diverts the energy of all normal bodily functions to the function of escape, which is a physical response. However, in our day-to-day life, there isn't usually anything that truly warrants this response. For example, sitting at your desk with a looming deadline that just moved up. Yes, this is a very stressful situation, but it doesn't warrant the same physiological response that being chased by a dog warrants. But that's the response that our body gives. So our goal becomes to be able to move ourselves back into the functioning of the parasympathetic nervous system as often as possible throughout our day. This is our rest and reset mode. We're generally more relaxed here and our body can function. It can do its normal functions to the best of its ability. It can do what it was designed to do, including digest well. Now, for those of us who are empathetic and sensitive, the increased awareness of the world around us can often increase stress. The good thing is that because we are sensitive, it's also easier for us to decrease that stress, to do simple things to shift in the other direction. So we often forget that it's just as easy for us to use these things to our advantage as for them to create problems in our lives. The thing is that when our mind is overactive, when it is physiologically impossible for us to calm our thoughts down because our body is in the response of the sympathetic nervous system, the things that we might use to bring ourselves down, to ground ourselves, to center ourselves, sometimes don't work. Things like gratitude or meditation and things like that are wonderful to use at other times. They might not work in this situation because our mind can't calm down. But the breath is the one tool that we have with us from the moment we're born to the moment we exit this planet. Using our breath is perhaps the fastest way to reset our nervous system. It can eliminate the stress response in our system in real time. So today we're going to explore 3 breaths that anyone can do. In the first breath, you're simply going to breathe in deeply, all the way in to the belly, and if you can, all the way to the base of the spine. So you'll inhale deeply and you'll count, and then you'll double the length of the exhalation. So we'll start with 3 and 6. Inhale through the nose to the count of 3. And exhale through the nose to the count of 6. Good. If that felt too much for you, you can do 2 and 4. It's double the amount on the exhale. So inhale to a count of 3, exhale to a count of 6. And as you get used to this breath, you can move from 4 to 8, and then you can move from 6 to 12. So it's up to you, but start with 3 to 6, and if that's too much, start with a 2 count inhale and a 4 count exhale. Now, generally, if your nervous system is all revved up, we're taught to just take a deep breath. The thing is that when we start with the inhalation, if we just try to inhale deeply, it will feel like we can't take a full inhalation because our chest is tight, it's constricted. We've been doing our shallow breathing for so long, and maybe our muscles are even really tight. This can be really frustrating, and it can also increase our anxiety because it feels like we can't pull enough air in. The inhalation is tied to the stress response. So think about it. If somebody jumps out from behind a door and you didn't know they were there, the first thing you do is you inhale. The exhalation is neurologically tied to the relaxation response. This is why the exhalation is so important, and it's why we double the amount of time on the exhalation. So just taking 5 breaths like this can reset your nervous system super quickly. Don't believe me? Try it out. The second breath is a simple, deep inhalation and exhalation. The trick is, for the reasons we just discussed, we're going to start with the exhalation. So start with your exhalation and breathe out all of your oxygen, but don't stress or strain. Just allow your body to breathe out. And then breathe in deeply. And as you do, feel your body expand. Bring that breath all the way down into your belly. Simply do this for 5 breaths. Now, it's possible you've used this tool in the past, but you might have started with the inhalation. So try it, and in your mind, start your breath with the exhalation and see what a difference that makes. As you become more adept at this practice, as you spend more time taking 5 breath breaks during your day, or you become more adept at breathing more fully, start to pay attention to the space between the breaths where the breath turns. So there is a pause between each breath. So you exhale. There's a natural pause. Now, this isn't a pause that you force to be there. This is just a natural pause. So it's like exhalation out, there's a pause, and then inhalation back in, down, there's a pause as it rotates. So it's almost like picturing a wave on the ocean. As the ocean moves out, it pauses and then the wave comes back in. So start to pay attention to that pause between and see if you can be fully aware in that pause. And this is how your breath starts to become a meditation. Even if you've just taken a break from a meeting to go take a couple of breaths in the janitorial closet or whatever you're doing to de-stress yourself, start to pay attention to the pause, that space between the breath. And the third, and perhaps the most complex of the 3, but still not super complex, is Nadi Shodhana. It's alternate nostril breathing. This breath is so important because it's said that there are 72,000 nadis in the body. These are energy channels throughout the entire body. This breathing practice purifies all of those nadis. It also balances our solar and lunar energy, our analytical and creative minds. It also balances the heating and cooling aspects of our bodies. So you can also use this when you're feeling emotionally numb or you're feeling emotionally heated and very angry. So in order to do this breath, you're always going to use your right hand. And how it's done is this mudra, this very special mudra is called Vishnu mudra. Now, some people have difficulty putting these two fingers down. If you can physically take them and put them down, and this is how you're going to hold your hand. If this is impossible to you or not accessible to you today for any reason, you can simply use your pincher. You're going to do this with your pinchers. Or you can use your telephone. You can make a telephone with your hand and use this. So we're going to alternately close off one nostril and breathe through the other. It creates this movement of up and down breathing like a mountain, and it balances everything within your body. This breath can also help with anxiety, insomnia, and a feeling of ungroundedness. So use it as often as you want. We'll just practice a couple of rounds together. So take your hand in your mudra, right hand always, and you're going to close off your right nostril with your thumb. Inhale through the left nostril. Close the left nostril. Exhale through the right nostril. Inhale right. Close, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. And release. So this practice always begins with closing your right nostril first and inhaling through the left, and it always should end with an inhalation through the left. The left is the receiving side, so you want to make sure that that receiving channel is really clear so that universe can support you in all the ways. You can do 5 rounds of this practice. So one round is inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation. Do 5 rounds, up, down, and just notice how you feel after these practices. When you're breathing, always, always, always breathe through the nose. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're setting your body up for a stress response if you're breathing through your mouth, even if you're exercising. When you're exercising and breathing through your mouth, you're stealing energy from your heart. So you always want to be sure that you're breathing through your nose. It's very important. In terms of having a breathing practice every day, if you choose to, it is most effective to set up a time of day where you do your breathing practice. And it's best to do a breathing practice on an empty stomach. So if you're going to do 5 of any of these breathing techniques, or maybe even all of them, set up a time, maybe when you first wake up, maybe before you go to bed, where you do this every day. Because when you set up the same time every day, your body gets used to it. Your body understands, hey, this is our time to relax. This is our time to just clear all of the stress. But the good thing about all of these practices is that you can use them throughout your day as needed as well. So even if you're feeling really stressed at lunchtime, and you feel the need, you've just eaten a sandwich and you feel the need to go take a couple breaths, you can still do that. It's okay. But if you are establishing a daily breathing practice, it should be at a time of day when your stomach is generally empty. And the one other thing to remember is that when you're feeling stressed and you reset yourself, it's also good to let your body have some movement so that you can release those stress hormones. You're in a state where your sympathetic nervous system is active and your body is making stress hormones. It's treating the situation as if you were being chased by an animal and it was a life or death situation. If you watch animals in the wild, once they are in safety, they will move, they will shake their body out, they will do whatever it takes to get rid of those stress hormones. Whereas humans generally just go back to the computer or whatever sedentary activity they were doing, and those stress hormones stay in the body. So if it's possible for you after you reset to even take a short walk to the water cooler, or to go out for a walk, or maybe even to dance through one song, see if you can move your body. You might even just like shake your whole body and let the stress hormones release. So just to reiterate, any of these 3 breathing practices can be used by anyone, and they can be used together or separate anytime you need them. If you would like more assistance healing your body and moving into your absolute state of being the most energized, the most healthy, and the most vibrant person that you can be, consider joining us for our group energy therapy session in the Healing Temple. You can find more information about this event by using the link in the description of this video or in the comments section below. Thank you as always for being here in this community and for sharing these videos with others who need them. I am so grateful to you for the way that you show up and for the energy that you bring each and every day. I look so forward to supporting you in more videos like this and in our group energy therapy session in the Healing Temple. I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye, everyone.